After 20 years of blowhard patriotism, dubious alien costumes, and housewife-obsessed goldfish, American Dad was bound to toss a few stinkers our way. I mean, sure, the vast majority of its episodes are real knee-slappers, whether it's the absurdity of Stan's job at the CIA or just everyone being mean to Klaus for no reason. But let me tell ya, there are a couple of episodes that make me wonder what they've been smoking in that writer's room. Like, just take a look at the season 11 episode, Blagsnart, a love story. It all starts with Roger getting a little too clingy with Stan. Clearly something's going on with him, but hey, what else is new? And just to drive the point home, he even ends up in the bathtub, while Haley's already in it. Does Roger suddenly miss his home planet or something? Like, why is popping up in Steve's backpack saying stuff like,
"Ooh, sounds fun. Hey, I bet I can guess what's in your lunch just by sitting on it." A carrot?
Yeesh. And later that night, he has poor Klaus trap her under his butt while he's sobbing away to Lord knows what TV show. Finally, somebody said it!
All right, family meeting. I'm worried about Roger.
Turns out Roger has been making everyone kind of worried, and oh god, you don't even know what Francine has been going through this whole time.
Yeah, I've been having an issue with him too.
Hugs, not drugs. That's what I say. I'm also on drugs.
Eventually, Roger puts on one of his totally believable disguise and drags Francine into a wild goose chase. He's following his nose, which for some reason leads him to the park, and by this point there are already about 5 jokes that haven't landed, but it gets worse when Roger finds a crashed alien spaceship.
Help! I crashed and I don't have a boyfriend.
Did anyone else notice how terrible that line delivery was? That's Kim K, by the way, which explains the complete lack of acting talent. So anyway, this alien's name is...
This is...
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Suffice it to say that Roger was losing it because her alien pheromones were setting him off. So surprise, surprise! They start making out, but trouble's already started brewing. The CIA have already discovered Roger's girlfriend's ride, and some of them even recognize it as an alien spaceship. Meanwhile, the Smiths are blissfully unaware of the hell that's about to break loose. They're just chilling with this furry new alien and making small talk. And when they ask her to tell them a bit about herself, we get this Oscar-worthy line delivery.
I like long walks in the blistering suns and playing in the sulfuric rain, but my favorite thing to do is...
Yep, they're going up to Boink. Seriously, it can be funny to watch Roger being a horn dog, but somehow in this episode it just seems like a tired old gimmick. But for absolutely no reason, Roger just suddenly decides that he's over her the next morning. He even tries to break up with her, but she seems to think he's the one. So what does Roger do? Why, take her on a romantic getaway, of course. Rip logic. But here's where this episode gets even weirder. While Roger and what's her face are driving off, the camera pans to this state prison. Why, you ask? To show the execution of a woman that murdered a cop who also happened to be her husband. Look, we all know where this is going, right? Or at least, if you watch a ton of American Dad, you just know that the golden poop has something to do with all of this. And sure enough, the woman's son ends up finding the golden poop underneath his floorboards. Honestly, I love it when they return to this little miniseries from time to time, but in this episode, it just gave me whiplash. Eventually, Roger just ends up giving his girlfriend up to the CIA. It's a strange story with a resolution that just doesn't quite hit right, which definitely makes it one of the most incoherent episodes of American Dad ever. But if you think that's bad, wait till you get a load of the season 8 episode, Stan's Best Friend. This episode kicks things off with Steve trying desperately to get himself a dog. He makes a whole clip show and everything, but his dad's not hearing any of it. You see, when Stan was a kid, he had a dog that he loved to bits. But things went to crap after his dad left. Apparently, the dog got sick and Stan's mom told him to put it down. Sounds kinda sus to me, but hey, maybe that's why I don't have kids. But there's something kind of strange about Stan's no dogs rule. Yep, the Smiths have had dogs before, which makes the whole emotional arc of Stan's backstory just seem pointless. But it turns out that Francine just doesn't care about the rules. She's decided that her son should have a dog and Stan can just go to hell. Basically, she thinks that it will be good for Stan to have a dog again. Like, it will help him move on or whatever. Stan agrees, but on one condition.
Fine, but I won't have anything to do with that dog. If he buys a table at a charity event, I won't sit at it.
I guess that's fair, although Stan still can't wrap his head around the fact that there is a dog in the house. But this little guy's just so cute, he's apparently able to melt even Stan's cold, dead heart. It takes him about 5 seconds to warm up to the pup, so I guess all of that backstory was, once again, absolutely pointless. Oh, and something happens just moments later that makes it even more of a waste of time. Yep, we're not even halfway through the episode yet, and the dog is already in the hospital. And honestly, the whole thing is just so gruesome. Like, you've got Roger trying to make jokes, but none of them are funny. This leads to an uncomfortably serious conversation between Haley and Jeff about what they'd do if the other person was on life support. Like, they even start talking about lawyers.
Why did you guys drag me out here to listen to this boring lawyer stuff?
My question exactly, Steve. The tonal shifts in this episode are jarring as hell, especially with Stan sitting by the puppy's hospital bed because he can't believe it's happening all over again. Like, my man gets so obsessed that he tries to learn everything about medicine just to save this dog that we know won't make it past this episode. Even Steve makes more sense than his own father.
Anyway, Dad, it's time to let Kisses go. There's no quality of life for him anymore.
But does Stan listen? Nope. Instead, he takes the dying dog and travels across the country to some quack that claims she can cure him. And you don't even want to know what she ends up doing. Yikes! Maybe I'm just a sappy dog lover, but that is straight up disturbing to see. And it traumatizes Francine and Steve, so clearly I'm not the only one. Was this episode edgy? Yes, but was it funny? Heck no. But I think the worst episode of all is Season 13's American Fung. Right off the bat, you know something's wrong. Because there is some random Chinese billionaire on screen begging you not to change channels. That's when we find out that Seth apparently sold the show to this dude, which is obviously a bit, but we'll see how it pans out. After that, the episode starts like any other sitcom. In fact, it's a little too sitcom-y, because the whole premise is that Stan forgot about his anniversary. He needs to buy himself some time, so he gets an idea.
Wait a minute. We can just accuse Francine of being crazy and get her locked up on a 72-hour psych hold. Capital idea.
A bit drastic, but I guess it'll get him the extra time he needs. Meanwhile, Roger realizes he has too many clothes. Yep, that's pretty much it. That, friends, is the subplot in this brilliant half hour of television. Oh, and I guess there's this.
Whoa, my God! Listen to this. It says here that billionaire Fung has increased his already vast fortune.
I'm still waiting on the punchline, and something tells me I'll be waiting a while. Anyway, remember how Francine got MK Ultra'd? Yeah, Stan used the time that bought to get her some fried chicken for their anniversary. Great! It doesn't take long for Francine to figure out that Stan was behind it all, and boy is she mad. In fact, she gets so mad that the hospital decides she's not ready to be discharged. In fact, the doctor has some news for Stan.
Mr. Smith, in layman's terms, you seem to be Francine's trigger.
Yeah, I didn't get that fake product placement either. Like, it's not even like they are parodying a real thing that's happening. Oh, and it doesn't end there. This billionaire dude shows up in animated form to tell everyone to keep watching American Dad, which once again had me laughing about as much as my grandma's funeral. The fake product placements just keep coming after that, and they get long. Like, I'm talking full on 30 to 45 seconds long, and I've got to wonder why the writers are putting us through all this. Don't get me wrong, there's some plot. Like, I guess Stan sneaks into the hospital to break Francine free, but the rest is just disturbing instead of funny. Him and Francine get lobotomized for trying to escape. Haley, Steve, and Roger go on an adventure with the Chinese billionaire for some goddamn reason. An adventure that goes nowhere, might I add. and the episode ends with a fake ad for a fake resort in Bali. And yes, this footage is from the actual episode. Man, the writers were really phoning it in that day, huh? If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'd like this one too.